So welcome back. Our lesson today is on how to make a cereal with coconut milk breakfast, right? Okay, so today we're going to illustrate this with quinoa and how to make the quinoa hot cereal. We already went over that. You can do this with buckwheat as well. So we have those two here. This is buckwheat and quinoa. I'm going to spoon it into these bowls over here. But what we'd like to do is we'd also like to talk about how to make the coconut milk, how to combine these two and bring it together in a nice and attractive and flavorful way. Okay, so I'm going to put this back over here. Why don't we cover this back up until we're ready, and then I'll show them how to make the coconut. Yes? Okay. Okay, so you just want to put the cover back on, the top back on. Okay, so and we had already gone over this. I just wanted to show you what the quinoa looked like. You're going to soak it overnight. You're going to, in the morning, rinse it, and then you'll use 1 part of the quinoa or whatever cereal or pseudo grain that you use with 2 parts of water, and bring it to a boil and then simmer it. This is about for like 15 minutes, and then you'll fluff it up at the end. You have anything to add to that, Mercy?
Sometimes you need to stir it because it gets stuck depending what type of pot you have.
Yeah, it depends on what type of pot and probably what type of range that you have, you know, and depending on which burner you're using. So I like to just bring it to the boil, and then I put it on my smallest burner and I put it on a simmer. And for me, that seems to work really perfectly. And I'm not that careful of a cook, so I'll go back and check it, and usually, like, hopefully I get lucky. And I don't, but usually it's about 15 minutes, you know, because sometimes I don't put the timer on and I forget. But okay, so this is a coconut. Now, I should say that you can use just processed dehydrated coconut flakes to do coconut milk, right? Because that's the fastest way to do it.
That's easier.
And we will illustrate that to you on some other day, maybe, or maybe you can talk about it as I do this. Okay. The processed coconut.
Okay, so you can do 1 cup of flakes of coconut, and then just cover with hot water. Just cover with hot water, and then you just blend it and strain it, and you can put a little vanilla, a little sweetener if you like, and that's your milk.
So with the coconut milk too, when you do it that way, it's going to be thicker or thinner depending on how much water you use. And so if you want a thicker coconut, then just coconut milk, then just use more coconut flakes. Now, I was going to have you talk while I did this, but then I realized I was going to make a lot of noise. So, so this is a young Thai coconut, and so it's already been, the skin has already been taken off. So this is how I do it. It is a little messy.
Got it.
I'm going to work up a sweat. I should have worn an apron. Oh, here we go.
Okay, great. So we need a bowl. Excellent.
Can I just put this into the Vitamix? Or is that what we're going to do? Or you're going to put the other stuff in first? Okay, we can do that. I just didn't want to let it overflow, so maybe I'll put it in here. So you can see that the coconut, the water is nice and clear, kind of yellow. And then here we're going to spoon out
I can help you with
the meat. Okay. Whoops.
With this part, I like to remove the edges.
And this part's really easy, taking the top part off, and you know, you have to take off a little bit of this. It's actually kind of fun. A lot of kids like to help out with taking the peel off of the coconut. And some people think it's a lot of work. It kind of is with young coconuts, but it's a lot less work than when you have mature coconuts. I don't know if you've ever tried with mature coconuts. That's a lot of work. But these are super duper yummy. I think it's really worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not that hard really.
This makes a really nice coconut cream. You can drink this coconut water by itself, but I like to add it to the coconut milk because it makes the coconut milk taste so much better.
And it's sweet. A little
Very,
sweet.
very
Good
sweet.
And I like to do with my spoon this way. So you just start in the borders and just keep working your way around. And it's gonna be ready. And it's ready. And you just have to remove the little areas here.
Sometimes these
not
have
now.
more than others. Some of them have more of these brown.
Yeah, this is just at the upper area.
Okay.
And it's ready
You
because
do
we're gonna
this
blend
part,
it.
and I will
Okay.
take care of this.
So we're gonna use some of the coconut water. Sorry.
Oh, can we use a strainer so that you don't get
good
the?
idea. So I'm going to use, this is gonna be depending on how much of the coconut we have. So we need the coconut. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to, let's see, we're gonna need the meat.
Okay.
So what I have here is stevia. So this is the stevia leaf. So I made a powder. So we don't want to use the process, you know, the white liquid because it's processed and they added some stuff that is not healthy. So we use just the plain stevia and we're gonna put some vanilla, and this makes a super good flavor. This is carob powder, but this is the white one. So the white carob powder is not gonna change the color, so it's gonna kind of look like a milk because that's what we're trying to make, like a creamy milk. So I'm going to put some of the water. We have the water that needs to be strained.
Well, I have the strainer right there,
Oh, okay, okay.
so you can just pour it through.
Okay, that sounds good. Just gonna do half. We're gonna make creamy, but let's see. Let's just make them, yeah, seems that the whole thing is good. So I'm gonna put a little sweetener, which is the stevia. This is very strong, so I'm just gonna put about 1/4 teaspoon of stevia. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And this is a special vanilla, right?
Oh, this one doesn't have any alcohol in it, so it's glycerin.
Okay, 1 teaspoon. And we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of carob. Either of these is just if you like to add the flavor. You don't even have to do this, but this is just for extra.
So carob
Special.
is a really nice thing to use because it sweetens things and yet it's still healthy and it adds some, doesn't it have some anti-inflammatory effects?
It is good for digestion.
Yeah.
Carob is very good for digestion.
So I like to use it in my smoothies actually. So we're gonna bring this a little closer.
Also,
Okay.
we're gonna put a little tiny, small amounts of salt to bring the flavor. And we're ready to blend it, and we will be done. And maybe we can start serving
Okay.
the cereals. And then we're gonna top it with the milk and then some berries.
Okay.
Okay, it should be ready, but I'm going to taste it. Be sure it tastes good. It's very good, but it needs to blend a little more. Okay, it should be ready. It's nice and creamy. And we're gonna pour in this nice container. Okay.
So this coconut milk is a little, it's more milky, right? And if you want it to be more creamy in consistency, you can put it in the fridge for an hour or two, and you'll notice that the fat will rise to the top. And you can take that, and it will settle like a cream. But this is kind of milky. We can put it on top of our cereal and add some fruit. You want to try doing that?
Sure. It just makes a super extra tasty. And we're gonna.
And some people might want to eat it with some fruit, you know, or you can. I like to eat my cereal savory, so I'll add a little bit of salt, and so it's kind of like a sweet and salty type of thing when you eat it, and so that's me. But everybody has their own way. They might want to add something. For those of us who are trying to heal from leaky gut, we're not eating a whole lot of sweets, and so berries and coconut milk, these types of things are usually pretty well tolerated. So there you go. You have some hot cereals that you can have with coconut milk, some fruit, sweet or savory, and you have a few options here. Maybe today you can try doing this with either quinoa, buckwheat, and even amaranth. That's one thing that we haven't showed you yet, but it's something that I'd highly encourage you. Those three, it gives you a lot of different options when you're trying to heal.